Driving your motorhome should be an enjoyable experience, and it can be. Adding an anti-sway bar to your suspension can improve your ride and make your RV safer to drive. They help prevent sideways roll and leaning or tilting while driving on curves, sharp corners, or large bumps, as well as adjusting the vehicle's balance and really helping on windy days. Most importantly, they can save your RV from a dangerous crash or a rollover. On our last episode, you saw that a suspension and steering component inspection was done by Henderson Lineup on our 2006 Alfa SeeYa motorhome with a Freightliner chassis. The conclusion being that the sway bar bushings were gone or worn out. The solutions were replace the bushings or replace the sway bar with a new upgraded sway bar system. I chose to go with the upgraded anti-sway bar, and in this episode I'm going to show you the equipment, the tools needed, and also the process of my installation. Hey roamers, it's Jamie back at you. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be upgrading our sway bar system on Rosie. We were in Gillette, Wyoming at an FMCA rally, and there was a company called Supersteer that were doing your suspension component inspections. So I had them come over, do an inspection on Rosie, and they determined that our sway bar, all of our bushings were pretty much worn out. So what I did is they gave me an estimate on replacing the sway bar and also a couple other things that we're going to be upgrading. And basically I ordered the sway bar system, had it shipped out, and what I'm going to be doing is changing that out today. So what the system comes with is it comes with the sway bar itself. Now the sway bar that's currently on Rosie is only 1.5 inches in diameter. The new one from Roadmaster that I ordered from Supersteer is 1.75 inches, so it's a 1/4 inch bigger in diameter, but it's also made out of a better steel. It's made out of 4140 chromoly, so it's a lot stiffer, so it's going to really help out with that rolling on the RV when you're making wide turns. Everything that comes in the kit is basically the sway bar itself, the end links, so you get 2 end links, and all the bushings and the brackets for holding your bushing. The one thing that's better about these bushings as opposed to the ones that come on your RV that are stock, the ones on the RV when you purchase it are made out of rubber. These ones are made out of urethane, so they're going to last a lot longer. And also the bushings on the end links are also urethane as well. So you get your end links, you get your sway bar, you get your 2 big bushings that go on the sway bar itself. And then they also include aqua lube, which is basically a grease that you put on your bushings so the sway bar rotates smoothly. And then the other thing you get is they give you the installation instructions, and they also give you your limited warranty information that you want to fill out and send in for your limited warranty. So we're going to put this on there. From what I understand, just looking on some reviews and stuff, it really helps out making your ride experience a lot better. When you're turning, you're not going to get as much rolling, and it's going to feel like your front wheels are kind of stuck down on the ground a lot better than with the stock sway bar. Now we could have just got a kit to replace the bushings and everything on our current sway bar, but after talking with Supersteer and seeing reviews, I'm confident we're going to get a lot better driving experience with the new sway bar system than we did on the current one. So I'm really excited to get this installed and have that better driving experience. So here's the tools we're going to need to complete this project. We're going to need an impact wrench. So we have an impact wrench to be able to undo the nuts on the end links and also on the brackets that hold the sway bar up, and also the sockets to go along with that. And then we're going to need these wrenches to be able to undo the top of the end link where you can't get the impact wrench in. These are ratcheting wrenches. And then also a pair of vice grips to hold on to the end link when you're trying to undo it, because it's probably going to spin around. And then the other thing that I got penetrating oil. So I'm going to spray that on all the nuts before I try to break those loose, because they've been sitting on there since 06 or 05 when the RV was initially built. and they're probably rusted on there, so they're probably going to be hard to break loose. So I'm going to spray this on there, let it sit for a while, and let that seep in so I can break those nuts loose a lot easier. And then once we put it all back together, when I read in the instructions, it said they wanted you to use red Loctite, which is a permanent Loctite on your threads, so when you tighten your nuts down. I didn't want to do that because if for some reason I ever need to adjust my sway bar or replace it or whatever, I did the blue. So the blue basically holds the nuts so they won't go anywhere, but it's not a permanent insulation. So that's what I'm going to be using. Where I'm going to be spraying is I'm going to be spraying here, and then up here on the top of the in-link, and then on both sides. So that's going to be on the passenger side and the driver's side. And then also back here on these nuts and bolts, I'm going to be spraying those as well. So that way I can get those loosened up and get those taken off of there. So now what we want to do is we want to take these nuts off so we can get these end links off. Okay, so that's the bottom one. Now we want to get the top one so we can get this end link off of there. So that one's completely done. Now what I need to do is do the same thing on the other side here. And then we'll be able to get these end links out of here. So now that I have both of those undone, the sway bar here should just be able to pivot down. What I'm going to have to do is loosen these bolts up so I can get the sway bar to basically pivot. Now these bolts and nuts and bolts and washers, we're going to want to save because we're going to reuse those on the new sway bar. So we want to make sure and save these. Now that that's pivoted down, I can take these end links out. So that one's out. And I got the one on this side out. So those are out. End links are all out. Now I just need to finish this one last bolt on this sway bar itself, and then we'll have the sway bar down as well. So now the sway bar is all loose. I can go ahead and take that out of here, and then we'll start installing the new one. Next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to put the grease on our bushings here. I'm using a glove, a disposable glove, because I don't want to put this grease on my hands. So I'm just going to put the grease on the inside here. Now that I got the grease on there, they actually have these so they split. So I can just slide this over top of the bar, like so. One on that side and one on the other side. And I measured it, so basically they need to be about 2 foot apart. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these on there and then measure them. And then get them on there so I know they're kind of in the right place for when we slide the sway bar up there. Okay, that looks pretty good right there. Let's go ahead and take our sway bar over there and get that mounted up there, and then we'll put our end links on there. I got my sway bar mounted, got that bracket on, and the one over here mounted on. It's not tight, I just got it up there so it'll, got the bolts in it so it'll hang up there. Next step is putting in our end links. So I'm going to go ahead and mount those up there now. Doesn't matter which way they go, they're the same on both sides. So what I need to do is just undo this one side, put it through the frame, and then put my bushing and my washer on there. The nice thing about these end links is, if you can see here, they have a flat spot that they milled off, so you can put a wrench on that so that when you're tightening the end link, you don't have to use a pair of vice grips. You can actually just use a wrench. So we got it all installed. That bracket's all mounted nice and tight. And then the one over there is all mounted up there. And then we got the new in-links all installed. So those are all tightened down. Got that on both sides. So the new sway bar's installed. Can't wait to test it out and see how the ride is now that we got this new bar on here. That was a fairly easy install. Since then we've driven over 1,000 miles and the steering feels a lot more responsive. The tilt and body roll are dramatically reduced, making the motorhome feel more planted to the road. Now the rear shocks and the left front wheel seal leak, I chose to have those done by a professional trucking center as it required special tools and the ability to lift the rear of the coach. Now that all of that is done, driving Rosie is once again an enjoyable experience. We got links in the description of this video for Henderson lineup and their Super Steer parts division. There's a bit more we want to add to our motorhome to make travel as safe as possible, and that will be in our upcoming episodes in this Safe RVing series. So be sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you'll be notified each time we upload a new video, and we'd really appreciate it if you'd share it with your friends and family or anyone who could benefit from this video, and make sure to leave a comment, that way you could be part of the conversation. Until next time, we'll see ya.